Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever sat down and asked yourself how Rigathi Gachagua got to gain this love from the mountain people? Because this love has been gained within a very short time. Have you ever asked yourself why this has really happened? We all know that Rigathi Gachagua was not the favorite of the Mount.KENYA people, more especially when he was in government. But now as you speak, Rigathi Gachagua is the favorite of the mountain people, more especially on political matters. Then now, what could have resulted to this kind of love? The Kikuyus have literally decided to love Rigathi Gachagua, and they don't regret it, and they are serious into it consciously. On this particular video, I want to take you through on the reasons as to why I feel strongly that Rigathi Gachagua received this huge love from the people of Mount.KENYA. But before I take you through, if this is the first time you are watching videos at Mukwa Times, take a second or two to subscribe. Also, after subscribing, my number is here. You can engage me directly, either by call or even through what you call WhatsApp texting. That one you can share with me on some political matters that I think I am not probably aware of. And also, if you want to support the channel, you can as well use the number. Let me give you 2 seconds to subscribe before I go on. Now, thank you for subscribing. We all know that Rigathi Gachagua has weaknesses. And these weaknesses, the mountain people know them very well. Not just now, even before. But despite of all that, still the mountain people decided to give Rigathi Gachagua unconditional love. They are supporting him immensely, from the party that he has started and many other things. Ladies and gentlemen, as you speak today, we know one of the weaknesses that Rigathi Gachagua has. It is the issue of kutokuwa na break. Whenever he says something, there's no break. If you are a thief, atasema huyu ni mwizi. Kama wewe ni muuaji, atasema huyu ni muuaji. There's no beating around the bush like trying to behave a gentleman. No, he hits the nail on the head. That is some of the things that William Ruto and other people consider as weaknesses of this gentleman. So therefore, what are these ways that resulted to Rigathi Gachagua getting a huge amount of love from the people of the mountain? Number one is the tribal sentiments from William Ruto's men to Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua stood to defend the people of the mountain on the projects that were being launched there that were not completed, and most of them were stalled. So actually, most of them stalled, sorry. Projects that Uhuru Kenyatta launched and William Ruto stopped them. Sacking of members of parliament, of members of public service by William Ruto. They lost leaders like that one of Kiare. They lost leaders from various positions. William Ruto replaced by his men. So Rigathi Gachagua championing for such kind of things, he was called a tribalist. And plus many other things like shares and stuff. Rigathi Gachagua was called a tribalist. That was adopted by most of the leaders associated to Raila Amolo Odinga and William Ruto. Up to now, they call him a tribalist. Whenever they go anywhere, tribalist. Whenever they go anywhere, tribalist. So it has been the song across. So when they do that, the people of the mountain move back and ask themselves, what is this Rigathi Gachagua has done that is making him to be called a tribalist? They find it's because of championing for the interests. So when Rigathi Gachagua champions for the interests of the people of Mount.KENYA, he's called a tribalist. But when Musalia Mudavadi, Wetangula and other leaders come on board to champion for the interests of the people of the Western region, they are not tribalists, they are called good leaders. When Raila Amolo Odinga's cabinet secretaries go launch projects and say how money has been tangwad for the people of Omabe, people of Migori, people of Siaya, while he has not come to kiss here and say whether there's money that has been allocated to this region or whether there's money in Mombasa that has been located for this such a development on electricity. So they call them good leaders, but when Rigathi Gachagua speaks, they call him a bad leader. So the people of the mountain felt like this guy is basically being fought unfairly. And as a result, wakampenda. And it was not fair. Judging Rigathi Gachagua unfairly, that was the reason as to why they felt like they can also not judge him and beat him. The best thing they could have done is to stand with this gentleman, and they did so. And up to now, they're standing with him for the same issue that people of Kenya Kwanza and ODM are spreading across the country. Secondly, it's the impeachment. After calling him a tribalist, it was basically to taint him negative and then impeach him. The ODM people were brought in and they impeached Rigathi Gachagua. And people were asking themselves, especially those from the mountain region, when William Ruto sabotaged Uhuru Kenyatta's performance, called him all sorts of names, they campaigned him, told him so many things. Uhuru Kenyatta tolerated him until the end of their term. They did not impeach him. But why did they opt to impeach Rigathi Gachagua, yet he did not fight William Ruto at any point? The fact is, that kind of a question they ask themselves, it is what actually made them to stand with Rigathi Gachagua. They stood by his side until now, because they feel it was not fair to impeach him. Now, as we speak today, you can see Kithure Kindiki moving across the country, doing it worse. What do I mean by saying worse? Moving across the country, and I'm going to do an extensive video on that, dishing money all through to Boda, to Mama Mboga, in the name of lifting the businesses. Why is it then that it cannot be put in the budget now, give all Mama Mbogas across the country money? So, indeed, is doing worse embezzlement of public funds than Rigathi Gachagua. But they felt Rigathi Gachagua was the person to be impeached and replace him with Kindiki. Ladies and gentlemen, the other reason as to why I feel strongly that Rigathi Gachagua received much love, it's also because of the sentiments from leaders, most especially Wanyama from Western Kenya, who literally said the mountain people feel like they're the ones, there are people in this country who feel that they're the ones who should be in leadership, but not others. So it's their time to be thrown out, maybe just to paraphrase, keep them aside and be able to bring other people from other parts of this country. They started literally fighting MT.KENYA for producing presidents in this country. They forgot that William Ruto is the second president from the Kalenjin land. So therefore, they forgot that and they continued publicly uttering such words in front of President William Ruto. And as a result, the mountain felt like, no, we are being fought through Rigathi Gachagua. It's an excuse that is Rigathi Gachagua, yet they are simply fighting the mountain region. So the mountain people felt like, no, this cannot work. Let's stand with our son. That's how Rigathi Gachagua, step by step, he gained popularity in the MT.KENYA region. Another thing I think is by attacks by goons. Rigathi Gachagua wanted to attend a function where Dorcas Gachagua was present, but due to intelligence, Gachagua did not go. Maina Njenga literally came and occupied that place and even sat in the seat that was made for the guest of honor. Uninvited, but he came with goons. They sat there, they took over the ceremony, and the ceremony ended like that. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a very bad sign for the people of the mountain. They did not stop there. The people sent the goons. When Rigathi Gachagua went for a funeral in Limuru, literally, in fact, that was the most lethal one because Gachagua escaped death. People armed with crude weapons literally were hitting the tent where Rigathi Gachagua was seated. We saw even his car getting broken. We saw chairs being broken and stuff. Rigathi Gachagua literally and his allies had to escape seriously, narrowly from such kind of goons. And that was very bad. The people of the mountain were still watching. Rigathi Gachagua went for a church function in Mwiki. Still, there were goons who were sent to Kasarani, to a church function inside the church to attack Rigathi Gachagua. Still, that was a very bad sign. The people of the mountain were still watching. So these kind of attacks did not stop there. They went ahead when Rigathi Gachagua was launching his party. The DCP party was actually unveiling it. We also had goons going there, literally interested to deal with those people there. So Rigathi Gachagua still managed to control that crowd. But the fact remains that people of the mountain are asking themselves, why is this happening and the government is allegedly behind? They are not intervening. Why is it that they are sending goons to Rigathi Gachagua? Eventually, Rigathi Gachagua developed some sympathy and many people really have developed love towards this gentleman. Ladies and gentlemen, I can state it here categorically that these are some of the things that have resulted to Rigathi Gachagua having close ties with the people of MT.KENYA, gaining popularity day by day, and becoming among the most popular leaders in MT.KENYA as we speak today. Last but not least, let me talk of Raila Amolo Odinga and Ruto's association. Ruto campaigned against Raila Amolo Odinga in the MT.KENYA region, called him a bad person, all sorts of names. Now he joined with William Ruto. He joined with Raila Amolo Odinga. Raila Amolo Odinga joined with William Ruto. They became brothers now. Rigathi Gachagua and the people of MT.KENYA sat back and asked themselves, this is the same person who told he was bad. Then we could have just been allowed to vote for him instead of using us to chase him away and then later on bring him in government and exclude us. Impeach some of us like Rigathi Gachagua. So this also intensified the hatred to William Ruto and intensified the love for Rigathi Gachagua. On the comment section, share with me what you feel about the love for Rigathi Gachagua in MT.KENYA region.